Hey, boo.
Hi, babe. I think we could start by talking about how long people have asked us to record ourselves talking to each other. Or like at least 7 years.
It's been a long time. Our team has asked for this the most. In like wanting to know more about deer and wanting us to be more present in telling stories.
So we already did a blog that was a 7-part deer history, deer in Hawaii history. And those blogs and emails were written as much as we could according to the written record. Mm-hmm. So I think like a preamble, whenever you're talking about history, is that like history is never entirely objective. It's like our own personal recounting, and it's like we're traveling back in the past, but we're taking with us like all of our leanings and all of our opinions and postures of the here and now. We're trying our best to follow the written record and not interject all of our own ideas in there. Sure. And so that's what I tried to do when we were writing that. And I think that's what I want to try to do. We're going to fail probably a whole bunch in just talking to each other about the series, because we just are going to say all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But I want to try to stick to
No.
the record. Like, what were they thinking? I want to
inject
like, okay, this article and then this article and this journal. I want to be like, well,
but what do you think they were thinking? Anyway.
So that's my preamble, is that like telling history is never perfect. It's our own, stringing together events, and there's going to be so much left out that I would love to go into.
There's a whole bunch left out that we don't know, didn't have time to completely research. Like there's an endless amount of research that you
we would
do.
never end.
When is the beginning of the axis deer story in Hawaii? Where would it start?
Any story in Hawaii has to start with Hawaii.
Okay.
So like if we're talking about an introduced species, we have to understand the place that it's being introduced to.
Okay, gotta go.
To which it's being introduced. So I'm sure people have heard this a million times in a million different ways, but I think...
Give them a little bit.
Yeah. So Hawaii is the most isolated, genetically and geographically isolated landmass on the planet. I think it's like 2,300 miles to the nearest landmass. Kauai's like maybe 5 million years old. And so she's our oldest of our main islands. And in that time, all of these species arrived here naturally on birds, on the ocean, on the wind. They just explode into spectacular displays of adaptive radiation and speciation. Yeah. And so one rose finch can become, 10, 20, 30 different species of bird. And they get really, really singular. So some of the species, a plant species will only be pollinated by a small group or even one pollinator. They get really, really specific. The bird's beaks fit in the flowers and all of these things, and it's incredible and it's beautiful, but it also creates this intense vulnerability.
Sure.
For when everybody else arrives.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important to understand, is super isolated, and then highest rates of endemism in the world. So over 90% of our terrestrial species, you already know this, don't exist anywhere else on the planet. So everything on the land, over 90% of it only exists here, prior to all the jazz that happens a little bit later.
Yeah.
And then 20% of our ocean species are endemic. And so we have the highest rate of endemism in the world, but we also have the highest rate of endangered species in the world.
Just so everybody, what is
endemic means it doesn't exist anywhere else.
Okay, got it.
So it's completely
specific to this place.
Specific to place.
Okay.
We have one native mammal. She's a little tiny opi'a.
So tiny.
Hoary Hawaiian bat. And that's it. So all of our plant species are now evolving with no grazing, nothing trampling their root systems, all the thorns are kind of falling off these animals. Yeah. I mean, plants.
Nettles are nettleless, thorns are thornless. Like
flies forget to fly, birds become
they don't have any
flightless.
Defense. They don't have any defense mechanisms.
Yeah, so they're completely unarmed of anything that can protect them from grazing ungulates.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the guy.
Oh, the guy.
He's German. His name is Wilhelm Hillebrand. William, they call him William, but he was born in Germany under the name Wilhelm Hillebrand.
Okay.
And he's trained in Berlin as a physician.
He's a doctor?
Yeah. So he's born in 1830. So when he's 20, he gets tuberculosis. They tell him, like, dude, you got to go to warmer climates. So he goes to Australia and then the Philippines, and he ends up in Hawaii in 1850.
Because of TB?
Because of TB. Like, it's lungs, and they don't want him in the cold.
Okay.
I think a lot of people, if they had the means, probably move to warmer places. So he gets here. He starts a practice with the...
He gets here when?
1850.
Okay.
So we're a little bit ahead of it, but that's where we should start.
Okay.
So Wilhelm Hillebrand, he meets Dr. Wesley Newcomb. He's the doctor around town. They start a practice together. Marries Newcomb's daughter. He buys 13 acres in downtown Honolulu from Queen Kalama at the time, and he builds a home. Do you know Foster Botanical Gardens downtown?
Yeah.
Like right behind Fort Street Mall.
Yeah.
I used to park my Chevy Cavalier there when I could find street parking in college. Builds a home, and he starts to like plant trees. So he's a physician. He's not like, he's an amateur botanist, to be clear. But he's a physician for a few years. Then by 1858, he is appointed as the royal family's physician.
Okay.
So at the time, it is Alexander Liholiho, Iolani Liholiho, and his wife, Queen Emma.
Okay.
And so he's their physician when their little son dies, Albert, in 1862, and he's the physician when Liholiho then dies in 1863. 1863, Lot Kapuaiwa becomes king, King Kamehameha V. In 1866, he goes from being a physician to moving into Kapuaiwa's privy council, and he becomes Minister of Immigration.
Oh boy.
Wait, he has a title. Can I look it up?
Yeah, of course.
Let's find it. He is appointed the King's Privy Council, the Board of Health. He starts he's like instrumental in starting Queen's Hospital, and the Bureau of Immigration. So he's the commissioner to immigration, for immigration. And so all of this is happening. If we back up a little bit, in 1850, a society is started in Honolulu, and it's called the Royal Hawaiian Agricultural Society. Ooh. They are not royal.
They do not have Hawaiians?
They could be considered Hawaiians if we think about Hawaiians at the time as a nationality.
I mean, they weren't Hawaiians.
They naturalized to the Hawaiian Kingdom, so they were Hawaiian citizens, but they were transplants from elsewhere. And they wanted to improve upon Hawaiian agriculture, which is also pretty funny. So they were like this little group of people who wanted to try and introduce new species.
Oh boy.
And improve agriculture, but also like a lot of stuff they brought in was just, I think, for funsies.
Oh boy.
So they were kind of like this little fledgling society. And then in 1865, they merged with the Planters Society, which is the Hawaii Sugar Plantation Association. So they become one. And at this first meeting, our little Hillebrand, our amateur botanist, is there. He is, commissioner of immigrations. And Wiley makes a motion. Wiley's another guy. He's another transplant who was a physician who became a statesman in the government. And he makes a motion to send Hillebrand to China and the East Indies to go and find a bunch of plants and animals and bring them back.
Oh, man.
And he's like, let's do it. And the interesting thing is that the Royal Hawaiian Agricultural Society, they were mostly looking at bringing in plants. The Planters Association, they were looking at introducing labor. So they were looking for Chinese people to come to Hawaii. So they sent Hillebrand. He had 3 objectives. Was to find sugar plantation labor, to help find like the current best treatments for leprosy, which was starting to spread, and then to bring back plants and animals. And they gave him $500 to go find plants and animals in what would be China, Malaysia, and India.
And this society decided on those objectives, or those objectives were handed down by like the then king?
all of like members of the Privy Council and
they were just making decisions for themselves?
I'm not sure. We could look it up.
Or you could just guess.
I'm guessing that they were all big men in government, and they kind of unilaterally made plans and decisions, and then off they went.
Okay.
So Hillebrand goes on his little trip in April
Little trip.
of 1865.
Oh, okay, we're getting closer.
Yeah. So he goes, he meets a bunch of people. He starts bringing back all kinds of crazy stuff, babe. Okay, so he brings back. We'll get to the deer.
Okay, hold on. He did one trip, got everything, and came back, or this is multiple trips?
He did like a trip and like procured everything, and then they were sent back on ships.
Oh, okay.
So like there was one ship, the Alberto, that came back in 1865, and it had 66 trees in it and all these different birds. That was one boat. Oh. They don't have an exhaustive list of what Hillebrand sent back.
Oh my gosh.
Right, so he brought over...
Wait till Mama Laurie hears about this guy.
They already know him. His name is in all like so many subspecies of Hawaiian plants. Is Hillebrandii. He brought over like the Java finch, the myna bird, the rice bird, which then like destroyed rice fields that were like growing all over like Punalu'u, Hanalei, Kauai. They had to get rice soldiers, so people shot guns all day to get the birds off the rice. He brought over the rice birds.
What the hell?
Pheasants. He brought over a crow that would crows that would fly around downtown Honolulu. Frogs. He brought over, what else? Anyways, lots of birds. And then he brought over like all kinds of trees. Plumerias, monkey pods, royal poncianas, African tulips.
Oh.
Yeah, figs. Then a bunch of agricultural plants like oranges.
But as a reminder, the dude's not a botanist. So he's just
He's not a trained botanist, but he was acknowledged as a botanist over the years because he collected plants.
Yeah, but the objective decisions he's making that this thing is like good for Hawaii is just like...
Yeah, that's not for... I don't know.
Okay.
This is what I mean about like interjecting like our own thinking around it. But like Foster Botanical Garden, like a lot of those trees in there, he planted. Yeah, so this is all 18 on his trip to Asia. So all of those like Asian introductions, they came in like cinnamon and camphor and all these different things. Also, axis deer.
Oh my goodness.
I know. And I'm sure if we dug for days and days, we'd find all the lists, like the exhaustive list. But it was like a lot of different plants that he brought in.
Yeah.
And so he meets a gentleman who lives in the Upper Ganges, and he's like, I would totally send you deer. So he makes all the plans. The deer gets sent down. A herd gets sent down the Ganges, the winding Ganges. They get sent down to Kolkata. That time, Kolkata. Down.
Just so everybody the Ganges is a river.
The Ganges is a winding river, a giant river.
Yeah.
Down the Bay of Bengal, probably to Singapore, and then to Hong Kong. And this would probably have taken at least a month just to get it to Hong Kong.
I can't believe they survived.
And we don't know how much was the original herd that was put, like kind of ferried.
Yeah,
over.
we only know what arrived.
So it arrives to Hong Kong to the Hawaiian Council to Hong Kong, which is
where's
Whittle.
that?
So if we remember, this is 1867.
Yeah.
Hawaii is a recognized independent state, recognized by the entire Western family of nations. So they have consuls all over the world. They have at least 30 consuls already. Like legations.
Consuls are consulates?
Yes,
okay.
Embassies.
Got it.
So the deer arrived to Whittle, who is the Hawaiian consul to Hong Kong.
And he's a Hawaiian in Hong Kong?
No.
Oh.
We won't get into it because we'll just keep on spinning out.
Okay. Keep going.
He receives them. So he's the consul to Hong Kong under Kamehameha V. But he also works for Jardine and Matheson Co., which are a huge British... well, actually, they're Scottish, both of them. But they become like this established trading company. they call them like Far East traders. I don't know what it's called. And they're like well known for trading cotton, silk, tea, and they're like one of the biggest movers of opium at the time.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, so he receives.
He as a consul who also works for the trading company, moving opium around. Like they all have all of these hats at the time.
Oh, okay.
He receives them, and then they put them on the Loch Nagar.
Got it.
So Jardine and Matheson get this boat. It's an American boat that was involved in the cotton trade out of New Orleans for years. They take it to China, and then they move all of their goods around. It's, who's the captain? Baskerville. They put it on the boat with Baskerville. He's supposed to be just going to Baker's Island and getting guano, getting bird shit, and taking it back to Honolulu.
Detour.
But he brings all the deer. And so that there are 3 bucks and 4 does that are put on the boat. There's actually, I think, 4 bucks and 1 dies at sea. So when I was reading the newspapers at the time, some people say there was 2 bucks and 5 does, or
was it just opportunistic that he was there and they were like, "Well, I'll take him back"?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure they couldn't like really time all of those different things. And so then I don't know how long that would have taken from Hong Kong to Honolulu.
Okay. You don't have to inject your opinion here if you don't like.
Yeah.
But where do you believe the common narrative is that they were a gift?
No.
Okay.
Maybe people like helped move them, but the Planters Society sent a man to go get all these animals and bring them back. He made all the plans. They were brought back. They were helped by the consul in Hong Kong. They probably were helped by someone in India to move them. But in terms of a gift, I don't know where that comes from. But then people start to see in the newspaper 10 years out, 20 years out that it's a gift. Some people say from Japan, from China. I think it came from the Hawaiian consul, who also happened to be part of a huge shipping company. And he moved them.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even like, so Lot Kapuaiwa, I could talk for 5 billion hours because he's like one of my favorite Kamehamehas. I don't think he knew what they were. I think he was probably excited to receive all of these animals. Like if you look in the early Hawaiian newspapers, a lot of the front pages of the newspapers were describing a species to Hawaiians that they didn't know about, like a lion or a zebra. I think it's very interesting and exotic. But I don't think he knew ahead of time that he wanted access deer to come.
It's not like that organization came to him and said like, here's the list of the things you can have. Like, can you make a check? It's not like he was checking off a box.
Yeah, if you look at, what was said at that first meeting is that they were going to send him to find Hillebrand to find whatever he thought would improve agriculture in Hawaii, would do good in Hawaiian soil, to go.
Got it.
And bring them all back. And he brought a mixed bag of goods. Like Royal Pensiona is not, you can't eat those flowers.
I got it.
He was just like, ooh, ah. And so they arrive. They get taken to Lot Kapuaiwa's estate in Moanalua. So they probably went to
They came off the boat.
Off the boat. I thought they initially went straight to Mamala Wharf, like the market wharf in Honolulu, but they went into the Avalao of Pu'ulo, which now is known as Pearl Harbor. So he lived up in Moanalua. He had a huge estate. And it was taken up there. And then they found out that they couldn't like move them around because they would get loose, and they were jumping into the ocean in Pearl Harbor.
What?
So like they had to get a vet because one of the guys like broke the horn. Like they were like, what? So they had them there at his estate. And then they were like, okay, the next schooner that goes to Moloka'i, which happened to be the Kamaile, we're going to send them. So they took him to the market wharf. They stayed in a cage. And then people in Honolulu would come down and like visit them. It was like Christmas break. And they all were like on display at the wharf. And then at the time, a baby, what is a fawn that's a boy? A male fawn was born.
Yeah.
And the ship captain named him Kamehameha VI, which is, I don't even think that's funny. And so then from there in January, Lot Kapuaiwa got on the boat with them and went with them to Moloka'i.
When did they, how long was that?
Probably just like a month on Honolulu.
So they went to
Moanalua first.
They were unmanageable, and then they came back to the wharf.
Waiting for a trip to Moloka'i.
Okay.
So Kapuaiwa goes with them to Moloka'i.
Oh, he goes with them?
Yeah, he goes with them. And then they arrive, and I kind of looked as much as I could about where they would have been dropped off, and I'm pretty sure it would have been Pala'au, which was Crown lands at the time.
And there was no, I mean, I'm sure you could keep digging, but there was no language around like why they went to Moloka'i.
Well, in 1868, there's this whole article. Hokuloa Hawai'i wrote it, and they say, there's a line. By all accounts, the intention was to stock the island with access deer to allow them the freedom of the plains and perhaps the mountain. So I think as a game animal, they were trying to stock them. And that was 1868.
And who was that wrote that?
Hokuloa Hawai'i was just a newspaper article.
Okay.
And so Kapo'aiwa takes them to Moloka'i. He has cattle pens in Pala'au at the time already. All of Pala'au is Crown lands. And so they were probably released there. And then we look to Mo'olelo Moloka'i, so George Cook's book, and he kind of starts to tell the story of how they kind of expand from there. So
okay, when they get to Moloka'i, who would be there to receive them? Like who is
I've heard
who is
stories,
he assigning kuleana to? Like there's all this, like who's he entrusting to this animal? Oh,
I don't know. But I do know that they were put under kapu. So people weren't allowed to hunt them, at least initially, because they were trying to stock the animal.
Okay, you said Crown lands.
Right, so Kapo'aiwa had multiple holdings. He had Crown lands.
So, okay, this is what I'm saying, is like he's taking them, he's in possession of them, and he's putting them on his own lands in Moloka'i.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But he also had government lands. All of West End was government lands. But I think that he actually put them in Pala'au to start.
I mean, it makes sense for him to like put in his own place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was like a sheep station in Kaluoko'i at the time that Liho Liho had started. So there's different places they could have gone. But in 1868, there's an attack on a Uala farmer in Kalama'ula. So I'm like, it must be Pala'au. He must have introduced them in Pala'au.
Yeah, okay.
In the same year, they were like, they're eating all our Uala in Kalama'ula.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And then the guy like tries to stop him, and it was a buck, and he stabs him in his armpit. His name is Kaukino. His name is Kaukino?
The same year they arrive, which actually that Pala'au River goes up to Kalama'ula.
So here's the reason. One of the animals of our king, a deer set loose on his ranch, entered the sweet potato patch at Kalama'ula to eat the uala. Uala is sweet potato. And this man, Kaukino, saw him and tried to shoot him off. The animal rushed forward. Jabbed him in the armpit. But is that even?
Yeah, they're aggressive.
They will. But I've never ever come across any other accounts of them attacking people. Ever. I don't even know that they did that. Anyways, so I'm guessing in Pala'au.
Okay.
And then according to George Cook's book, Mo'olelo Moloka'i, they really quickly move up into the mountains because the cows have kind of like crowded out the lowland plains.
Yeah, they don't play well with cows, yeah.
Yeah, and so then they would have moved up into the forests pretty quickly.
Yeah, and there wouldn't have been any type of fencing. At most, they'd have had rock walls, and that
There
certainly wouldn't have slowed them down.
was a cattle fence that was built.
In 1868?
I don't know how to find that quickly. Oh, maybe get Mo'olelo Moloka'i. That red one right there. Give me.
You think so?
Yeah. They say who built the fence to keep cows out of the forest.
Oh, to keep cows from going into the forest.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have kept deer out.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah, it would have just been I don't even know if they had barbed wire back then.
So right here, Theodore Meyer, right there.
Theodore Meyer to build a forest fence to keep the cattle from entering the forest. This, however, did not keep out the deer.
What year is that? They build that big fence? I don't know if it says.
Right after it is 1898. So somewhere between 67 and 98.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then by 1894, we found this one article in Kaleoklahui in September of 1894. And it says, Ua mana o ia e lilo ana na ulu la au o na kua hivia Moloka'i I mea ole. Mamuli o ka ei ia o ka ili o na kumula au e ke dia. Wahi ana kama aina o Moloka'i. Ua piha na kua hivi me ke ia holoholona. So they're afraid that the forests will be reduced to nothing from the deer that are eating the bark off of all the trees. The Kama'aina, the people of Moloka'i, say this animal has completely filled the forests, the upland forests. So this is 1894.
So it's only 30
years.
20.
And that's going to take us to our first cull. And the end of like Deer History Part 1 is that first cull. And so I tried to do the math, and we can't know how many animals were there by 1898.
So their population dynamics will basically increase in Hawaii at anywhere between like 30 and 33% a year. So you think of like just a simple interest calculator that's like, well, you put in 31% and you just, I am sure even under Kuʻu. No?
People didn't have guns, babe.
Oh.
I mean, some people did.
Yeah.
Like bullock hunters at the time. I mean, starting in like the 1820s.
But
like the everyday Kanaka didn't have a gun. So I think like barring any like environmental die-offs.
So they'd have been, well, that wouldn't have happened.
That wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
They probably had very little impact on.
There for sure could have been
20,000 deer by 1898.
Yeah, 10 to 20,000 for sure.
Yeah, that's what my robot calculator said.
Yeah.
And so we're now in 1898, which is like a whole nother world. We're now in the territory of Hawaii.
What would have changed over those 30 years on Moloka'i? Like, in thinking about like how the general Kama'aina would have been like interacting with that animal, like, do you think it would have stayed under Kuʻu the entire time? Do you think like that the call we're going to talk about is the first true like reduction in population? Well,
Kapuaiva passes away in 1872. He was only 42 years old. And that was his kapu. And I don't know what Lunalilo, I don't know what happened after that.
So we don't have any, I mean, it's such a long time ago. You don't have any information on like stories about like eating them or like
not
any other stories of that animal in community somewhere or the other?
No. So in the 1800s, I don't find any stories about eating them yet.
Just the concern of them eating the forest.
Yeah, that's the only thing I find.
Okay,
so now funsies for you, because you've never heard of this. There were 2 other deer introductions before 1867 to Hawaii.
What? Really?
Yes.
By the same dude?
No.
What?
Okay, so in 1867 is axis deer, like December. 1857, 10 years prior, deer are introduced by one Captain Mackey. Do you know who this is? Do you know who this is?
No.
What do you mean? Okay, wait. I don't want to get it wrong. Captain Mackey, he had just bought Torbert's sugar plantation in Ulupalakua in 1856.
Get out of town.
And he brought in, a year later, per Kahai Hawaii newspaper, deer described as Elike mena dia o ka po'e Finilani.
Finland?
Finland! Is it reindeer? To Ulupalakua? Or there's roe deer, there's like Finnish roe deer.
Oh, I don't know.
But it says elikeme, so that in there, when they looked at it, they're like, it looks like the Finnish deer. I don't know what that would mean to somebody in 1857.
Oh, that's so cool.
We have no clue what happened to them.
Somebody ate them.
He bought the sugar plantation, which, is now known as Ulupalakua Ranch. And the year later, he brought in deer. I just found it today.
No way.
I know. Isn't that wild?
Oh, the boys are going to love that.
I don't know if they'll love it, but I want to know if it was reindeer. They would have, that would have been way too warm for them.
Maybe, I mean.
They wouldn't have made it climatized.
Yeah, like when they introduced antelope tulanai.
Right.
They kept running to the ocean because they thought it was a lake, and they would drink from the ocean, and that's what killed them.
What?
And they couldn't stop them from running to the ocean.
What about what was introduced to Kauai?
Black-tailed deer were introduced to Kauai at the same time axis deer were introduced to Maui, which comes
like 50s,
a long time
1950s.
later. Yeah.
Okay. Second deer story I found. Same year, 1867, John Palmer Parker, I think senior, because he died in 1868, releases at least 2 different releases of male and female deer on Parker Ranch in Waimea on the Aina Mauna lands.
What kind of deer?
All it said was deer menahau mana mana with horns that are greatly forked.
That could be anything.
But when access deer came later that year, they were like called the Indian deer, the speckled deer. The only thing that I find is that they had lots of tines. Is that what they're called?
Yeah. Yeah.
But at least two like drop-offs of these deer to Waimea on Hawai'i Island.
No way.
So, and then they said like they couldn't find them.
Wow.
They released them into like
Damn sure.
how many tens of thousands of acres.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of wild dogs up there. I don't know. And so they're gone.
Well, and I've never heard any stories about any deer at Ulupalakua or any deer in that Aina Mauna.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is just like all the deer stories that I could find in like a human amount of time, or I would have just spent days looking and looking. That takes us up to like 1898. Takes us up to right after the overthrow. Now we're in the territory of Hawaii, and the first thing they do, not the first thing obviously, but in terms of deer, is bring in sharpshooters from California.
Okay.
So A.W. Carter is the person, according to George Cook, who like hires the sharpshooters, but he's Parker Ranch. So it's really interesting that.
Would he have been on like a privy council or?
I don't know that about Carter. We could look it up.
I would.
A. Wellington Carter.
But mandate of that size, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't imagine that's just a couple guys saying like, "Hey, we should go do this thing."
He served on the Privy Council.
Oh, see?
Yeah. During the kingdom, but then during the Republic and then the territory, I don't know what his position was.
Okay, so he says.
There's too many.
Hires.
He hires the sharpshooter. 2 hunters from California.
Okay, and what?
They come in, and
Again, 1898.
1898.
Okay.
And supposedly, according to George Cook and other sources, between 3,500 and 4,000 deer in that first year alone.
Wow.
And they say that a lot, like first year. So I don't know how many subsequent years, if it was like an ongoing.
I wonder if it was like.
Multiple years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm imagining there was at least 10,000, if they could.
Oh yeah.
Actually, yeah. And so that's our first.
And these are old guns.
Do you want to look up what kind of guns they would have shot? It would have been a wide range of things.
They'd have been like muskets and.
1898.
Yeah, they're essentially like a really bad version of a modern day muzzleloader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
To wrap up, I think Hillebrand is a super interesting, and that's why I started with him. I would rather talk about Kapuaiwa for days.
Okay, well, let me ask this. What, if you had like 2 or 3 more minutes to expand on one part of the story, even if it's not deer related, what did you find most interesting in correlation? Like maybe it was, okay, go.
Oh, that's so fun. Thank you.
Well, you work so hard.
I was doing a refresher this morning, but Okay, so Lot Kapuaiwa becomes king in 1863 when his brother unexpectedly dies super young. And I love him because he was super shrewd. He never got married. They wanted him to marry Bernice, and she ran away with Charles Reed Bishop when he went to Europe with Jed for a year and a half. He liked hard work. He was actually way more conservative. He refused to like pledge an oath or whatever to like take up the constitution that was already in place. He wanted a new constitution. He wanted to restore more power back to the monarchy. They said he used to just ride around Honolulu on an old horse in regular clothes and like talk to people. He was very like, he wanted to pay everything that was due. He was very like, so I like him.
The book balancer.
I think he had foresight, and he was prudent, and I don't know. I think we would have liked
I think we would have liked him
And
today.
he planted all those coconut trees at Kapuaiva.
Oh, Kapuaiva.
Yeah, he had his own summer house there. Yeah.
And that's the still current crown lands
Yeah,
that exist
there's
today?
only one crown land. So there's government lands, crown lands.
Okay, what does government lands mean compared to crown lands?
So when Kauikeoli, during the Great Mahele, lands were separated amongst the chiefs, the monarch, and the government, right? But the monarchy up until that time could sell their own lands. And after Kapuaiva came, he was like, no. No. So the government lands in West End were sold to Charles Reed Bishop in 1875 for $5,000, 46,000 acres. So that was actually government land. People say it's crown land, but it wouldn't have been able to be sold if it was.
Got it.
And then crown lands are, a bunch of those lands went to Hawaiian homes after the Hawaiian Home Commission Act of 1920. So that was Pala'au and Kalamaʻula were crown lands.
Yep.
So I just love that part of the history. It's like I was trying to figure out what lands were which, and I know that it's buzzwords for a lot of our people here. But I thought it was fascinating that he...
That's super cool.
Yeah. So even though we started with Hillebrand, deer introduced during King Kamehameha V's reign. But also lots and lots of things. Like a crazy amount of plants and animals are introduced at that time. And I don't think that... I don't want to say it, but I don't think that lot was handpicking
I wish...
came in.
Ooh, let's play a game.
I don't like your games.
No. If I could pick one thing to know, I would love to know what the conversation between Kapuaiva and that ag council, I would love to know like how much of his decision making influenced either what they found or what, like, did he influence what they went and looked for? Like before he left, we're like,
oh, this is you playing Imagine it. Like,
yeah, this is me being like, if I could know one thing in this like grand scheme of things, I would love to know how much influence Kapuaiva had on what was selected.
Sure.
Or like pre-selected before he went. Or did he come back and be like,
these are all coming.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I don't know. He actually put a lot of foreigners turned citizens in positions of power. And I think they made a lot of unilateral decisions.
So he was likely involved.
He definitely received the deer first. It wasn't like he was like, bring all the banyans.
Yeah, because they went up to his place.
They went straight to his house.
Got it. Bring him my house first.
You know, it was probably one of the sparkliest ones that arrived on the boat.
Okay, if you could pick one thing to know in the early history of deer, what is what is a gap?
I would just want to know how Hawai'i like interacted with them. Like,
yeah, I want to know like
this is all juicy and stuff, but this is because I'm trying to follow the written record, right? I want to know like what it was like what you're asking me, to slowly watch them come out of the mountains and to see them eat uwala, like how people interacted and when they started saying like, oh, this is food. I would love to know the quiet stories of how people lived with that animal.
I would love to know when they were allowed to be food.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were turned into food at some point.
Yeah.
You can find lots of creative ways to do that, but okay, so
that's the interesting. Go ahead.
No, you go.
No. I wanted to say that's the irony of Hillebrand's legacy. So he wrote his magnum opus, which was like the flora of the Hawaiian Islands in 1888. He left after 20 years. And he kind of like...
He didn't even stay after all of that?
He dug out.
That freaking muggle.
18 years after he leaves, he's here for 20 years, he writes this book, and it's the foundation of a lot of like the early botany in Hawaii. He identifies like over 700 endemic species. He like clearly understood like what was endemic, what was introduced from va'a, from canoe, what would probably become invasive.
Oh, that's cool.
It's not cool.
No, I mean, it's cool that he understood.
That's the irony of him. And so like he has this whole legacy. We have at least 6 endemic species named after Hillebrandii, which are like a loulu, e lama. We have sedge named after him, kolokolopuhivi. We have a phyllostegia named after him.
What did you just do?
The mints with the long lobed.
You don't have to pull your lip. What?
So that we started with him, and I wanted to kind of like bookend is that
he's the main character
there's
in part
a lot
one.
of tension because he was like a botanist and he understood by
No,
the
he
end
wasn't a botanist.
he wasn't a botanist, but he wrote one of like the earliest botany books written by by a Westerner, and he clearly identified like endemic, introduced. I don't think he used invasive, but what would become problematic. But he had the longest list. They don't even know everything that he brought. And one tiny thing was axis deer.
Tiny?
Not tiny. It has become, what do you think? It has become
one of the
biggest invasive species issues in Hawaii.
Yeah. Okay, so we are at 1898. We have had the first major, like...
I didn't mean to smile like, oh, yeah. I just meant like, oh, are you trying to set up the next one?
I'm trying to, like, say we're at 1898. We've had our first major, like, control effort.
We've had our first indication that this species can be problematic to
and
manage.
Requires an unusual effort to manage in whatever that form is.
Yeah.
1 or 2 minutes. Where is from 1898? Where are we going to? Where are we going to end next?
So, deer on Diamond Head.
Ooh. Done. Deer on Diamond Head.
Le'ahi, let's be clear.
That was lovely.
How long do you think that was?
It doesn't matter. I had no idea.
Reindeer. Do you think they were reindeer?
Well, I gotta go find out. It's gonna drive me crazy.
They were at Ulupalakua 10 years before axis deer. I think they were. That was his large landholding. He had like a house in Honolulu. He wouldn't have taken them to Honolulu.
Okay, anyway.
Sorry.
Okay. Coming next. Deer on Diamond Head. Diamond Head is where?
Oahu.
How would they get back there?
I mean, they're already in Hawaii. They've already come down the Ganges, come across the Pacific. They're here. And now we're going to start to understand who moved them around.
Amazing. And that concludes...
Pipi Moloka'i. And the tale runs on.
All right.
What?